The courtroom was cold, but not colder than her smile. My ex-wife, Melissa, sat across the aisle, perfectly groomed, her diamond earrings catching the light as if mocking me. She leaned toward her lawyer and whispered something before smirking directly at me. "The prenup is iron-clad," she said, loud enough for me to hear. Her words were meant to slice, to remind me of how foolish she thought I'd been when I signed it all those years ago. To her, this was checkmate, and I was just a pawn she'd already removed from the board. I didn't respond. I didn't flinch. I simply folded my hands on the table and waited. See, what Melissa didn't realize was that I had been waiting for this day for a long time, not out of vengeance, but out of necessity. She had betrayed me in ways I never thought possible, and the prenup she clung to like a shield was about to become the very sword that cut her down. Our marriage had started like most fairy tales. She was radiant, charming, and from a wealthy family. I was ambitious, but not rich, still climbing the ladder of my career. She swept into my life with promises of love that seemed too good to be true, and for a while, I believed her. I believed she saw me, not my paycheck, not my modest background. But little by little, the cracks appeared. Her subtle digs at my job, her insistence on luxury vacations we couldn't afford, the way she compared me to her friends' wealthy husbands. At first, I thought I was being paranoid. Then I found the messages, private exchanges with another man, a man who just happened to be her business partner. The intimacy in her words left no doubt. She had been cheating. I confronted her, but she laughed, actually laughed. "Don't be dramatic," she said. "You'll never leave me. And even if you try, the prenup makes sure you walk away with nothing." That night, I sat alone in the dark, staring at the framed photo from our wedding day. Her smile in that picture was radiant, almost angelic. But the woman I had married was gone. She had replaced love with greed, loyalty with betrayal. So I called my lawyer, and that's when everything changed. Because here's the thing about that iron-clad prenup. Melissa had insisted on it before our wedding. She claimed her family wanted to protect the legacy. I didn't argue. I wasn't marrying her for money, so I signed. But Melissa, arrogant as she was, had never actually read it in full. Her father's lawyer drafted it, and she simply trusted that it favored her. But buried deep inside, in one seemingly ordinary paragraph, was a condition. It stated that any assets purchased jointly during the marriage, especially the primary residence, would remain with the spouse who could prove consistent financial contribution. Her lawyer must have thought it insignificant, since her family assumed she'd always out-earned me. What no one knew was that I had been the one making every single mortgage payment on the house. Year after year, even when she mocked my boring job, it was my steady paycheck that built the roof over our heads. She had contributed nothing, not a cent. So there we were, sitting in court, her smiling like a queen certain of victory. The judge asked if I had anything to add before ruling. I simply slid the prenup forward, tapping the paragraph that had haunted her lawyer since the moment he rediscovered it. He read it once, twice, his confident expression crumbling into ash. His face paled as he realized what it meant. Leaning close to Melissa, he grabbed her arm tightly and whispered something urgent. Her smirk faltered for the first time that day. "The house," he muttered, unable to disguise the panic in his voice. "You're going to lose the house." I watched the color drain from her face as the truth sank in. The same house she had decorated lavishly, the one she boasted about to her friends, the one she claimed would always be hers. It wasn't hers at all. Legally, it was mine. She tried to argue, tried to compose herself, but the judge's decision was swift and clear. The prenup was valid, the paragraph unambiguous, and the evidence of my financial contributions undeniable. Melissa lost the house that day. She had mocked me, cheated on me, belittled my worth, but in the end, it was her arrogance that destroyed her. After the ruling, I walked past her. She reached out, her voice breaking for the first time in years. "Please, can we talk? We can work this out." I paused for only a second before shaking my head. "You already worked it out," I said quietly, "in someone else's bed." And then I left. That night, I stood in the empty house, Silence filling the halls that once echoed with arguments and betrayal. It felt strange, liberating, bittersweet. She had tried to strip me of everything, but instead, she had stripped herself. I poured myself a glass of whiskey, sat in the living room, and stared at the walls. This house wasn't just bricks and wood anymore. It was a symbol, a reminder that betrayal doesn't always end in loss. Sometimes, if you're patient, the truth takes everything back for you. Melissa thought the prenup was her armor. She never realized it was my salvation. And as I sat there in quiet, I finally allowed myself a small, genuine smile. Not of revenge, not of spite, just peace. Because I had walked through betrayal and humiliation, and for once, I had come out not empty-handed, but free.